Okay, I finally got around to getting the latches or for the hatch on my Jet Ranger. You know, for to lock the hatch closed. What I went for, I had a little bit think about it, and I was going to try magnets, which I've got a couple of. But in the end, what I went for is the Vario sliding latch. It's a spring-loaded latch. If you have a look at it here, you've got the locking part here. And you've got the operating part there, which you just get a hold of with your finger, and you just slide that back and forth to open and close the latch. I was quite surprised by the size of it. I didn't think it would be anywhere near as big as it is. The red casing, if you like, from end to end is more or less an inch in length, so I was quite surprised at that. But as that goes on the inside of the door, it doesn't really matter anyway, because all you're going to see is the part that you operate with your fingers to open and close the latch, and I'll show you that on the Jet Ranger in a moment. As I say, I got the levers, and you can buy them singly, but I went for the twin pack. You can get them in a pack of 2, and the part number there is 104/35, which I got from Vario UK, and I think they were about £6 odd for the pack of 2. And in the pack you also get some of these screws here. I don't know if you can make them out there. These are very small crosshead screws. Incidentally, they're the same as these screws here, exactly the same as these ones that I used to fit this scale Jet Ranger hinges onto the door. You can see that's 5 per hinge there, and there's the bottom one there. And as I say, you've got the holes already pre-drilled in the hinges. You can see you've got 6 holes in there, pre-drilled to fix the latch to the door. Now, I didn't want to use the screws, because I thought, well, looking at the hinges, there's enough screws on the door itself without having any more where the actual latch is. So what I did was I went ahead and I epoxied the hinge in place, which I'll show you in a second. If we open the door, if I show you this from the outside first, you can see that when the door's in the closed position, I'll just close it there, you can see that there's very little sticks out of the door. There's only this little piece here that you've got visible. Now, you could, if you wanted to, if you weren't happy with it being sticking out that much, you could cut that down a little bit. Of course, the downside of doing that is, of course, it makes it harder to get a hold of to open the door. So, you may end up hurting your fingers trying to slide that back and forward, because the locking spring that's in the latch is quite a strong spring. Obviously, it has to be to keep the door closed. But anyway, if we open the door again, I'll just slide that open and let you have a look at it. You can see that it's epoxied in place there. Now, the way I did that was I just held the latch in place where I wanted it. I decided that I wanted mine in the middle of the door, so it was just a case of just marking out where the hinge was going to go, and then drilling a hole through the door for this pin to come through. And it's approximately 3 millimeters in diameter. So after I drilled the hole through the door, it was just a case of elongating the hole to make the slot for the mechanism to slide back and forward in, and then tidied up with a little file. Now, one thing I found with the hinge, because they were a little bit bigger than what I thought, is the actual lock part on the hinge itself, this part here. When I when I held the hinge in place, I found that this locking part was going to be too long. So before I epoxied the hinge in place, I had to clamp it in the vise and just cut a little bit off this section here, because obviously you only get about a centimetre there for the hinge to pull the pin back, and it doesn't fully pull the pin back behind the door. It's still left a little bit protruding, so it was a little bit too long. So I had to just cut a little bit of that off, just so you can see there up against the door when the door's closed. The pin, before I cut it, came to about here, so it was way too long. So I had to just cut a little bit off with a hacksaw anyway, to get that working. But anyway, that's the latch fitted on there. As you can see, it works fine. It keeps the door securely closed, nice and easy to open. As I say, the spring is a little bit strong, so if anybody fits one of these, I wouldn't advise cutting that, because, as I say, it will be quite awkward to open, and it'll probably hurt your finger ends a little bit. Right, that's the hatch. As I said on one of my other videos, I was going to use get some of the smaller screws, which was the ones that came in this packet here, which is part number 90220, and I think there was something like £2.40 a pack. I think you get 12 in a pack, so they're ideal. You know, if I put in the windows in, you can see them. I've got them fitted here. I thought I'll put a couple in just to have a look at them to see how they look. And you know, I think they're better. They're a better size and they look better than what the screws did that come with the Grosvenor kit. I believe the screws was the same size as these ones here, which were just a little bit too big for my liking for to fit the windscreen in. So as I said, I thought I would go for these other ones here, which I think makes a difference. The other thing I've gotten done is, prior to painting, I've gotten these static vents glued on in place. There's one here and there's one on the, you know, on the other side of the helicopter as well. Now I was going to repaint the helicopter using my air compressor and getting some paint, but what I've decided to do is, if we come across here, I've decided to use some of this Flare Spectrum paint. Now I've had quite good results with this in the past. The paint, you can get the paint in a variety of colours, and it comes, it's already fuel proof, the paint, so you just paint it on and you leave it a week or so, and then the fuel proofer builds up in the paint as it's curing. But of course, with me applying the decals, I'm going to have to get, this is the gloss fuel proofer, I need to get another can of this, because obviously with applying the decals on the helicopter, I'm going to need to proof the decals as well, just in case there's any damage from any exhaust smoke, you know, the oil that's in the exhaust smoke getting onto the decals and starting to peel them off or getting underneath it, and you know, spoiling the effect of the decals. The other thing that I'm going to do over the next couple of days is I'm going to get the side windows done. As I said, I've decided to use clear glass for the side windows, as these window bars didn't quite look very good with the smoked glass which you get with the Grosvenor kit. So as I say, I'm going to use the clear glass for these. The other thing I have to do is I'm going to have to take these back off, because I've got to sand these flanges back. These need to come back to about 5mm before the windows can be fitted. And of course the outside edge of the windows needs to be painted white as well, the same colour as the fuselage. So these will all need doing as well, which I'll get around to when I paint the fuselage. But anyway, that's all for now. When I get some more work done on the jet range, I'll come back with another video and let you have a look at that and see what you think. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.